Okay, so first things first, we're going to download the template. It's in assignment 10 process book at the bottom of the description here. So just click it and get that download started. Once it's done downloading, just open it up and it'll first take us to the master page for the cover. So just to start off with master pages, you'll know if you're on a master page if you try to scroll and you can't see any more of the pages. More importantly, you come over to pages and you click this tab here and it'll bring you all the pages in the document. Like I said in the description, I've already inserted the number of spreads that you need to have. And up top here are all the master pages I've made for your different projects. So remember that this section up here is master pages. This section down here is pages within the document. And this is on the pages tab on the right side if you're in Essentials. So let's go over the master pages I have set up for you. We have A master page, which is your 5x5 project, B master page, which is your 5x7 project, C 11x17 poster, and D will be your cover. So if you click into these double click them, you'll see that you're highlighted on this master page. This is the one that you're viewing. The 5x5 project has a spot for your final on this side when it's a square, if you choose to use this project. And on the left side, it has squares for process. And then same for the 5x7, 5x7 proportion. And then same for the sketches if you want to zoom in on those. And 11x17 for your poster. And then some square sketches if you want to toss in a bunch of different sketches, since that one might have a lot of process. And then for the cover, you can either put your cover directly in the pages or on the master page. I'd recommend doing the master page if you have a wraparound cover and you need it to go on both pages. So you'll put it in a frame on this master page and then it would apply it to those two pages within the documents. And remember that any changes made to the master page will affect the applied pages within the document. So if I make a change to master page A, which is the 5x5 project, I'm gonna go ahead and just put a black square on it. Before I even go to those pages, you can see that the A pages already have that black square. So you can go ahead and make any changes to the master pages that you would like. I would recommend that any changes you are going to make to personalize it, you do that before you put in your content. It'll just make it easier for you in the long run. Now say you don't want any of these A master pages, you just are going to use your 5x7 projects. Then you can go ahead and come up to this B master page and click and drag and replace the master page on the pages within. So see, I only dragged it to the pages on the right side. Therefore, these ones will have that right side of the B master page, but you see it still has the A master page on this side. See, I'm double clicking to get into this view. You can tell which one you're on because it's highlighted. So if I wanted to bring in this, I would just click and drag and drop it on there, and that would apply that to the master page. And again, if you had content in there and you dragged and dropped a new master page, there's a chance that it would delete your content. So that's why you make these changes before you get started, and you will have a much easier time in the long run. Okay, so now we're going to go over the cover, and this is assuming that you made your cover in a different program than InDesign, so Illustrator, Photoshop. The cover can be pretty much whatever you want, and then you're going to have your projects on these pages inside the document, but you can use pretty much anything for your cover if you would like, as long as you make it. So you see here I'm on the cover master page. You can see because I have this highlighted right here and I'm clicked within this, and I have these two markers for you guys, just so you know that on the right side it's going to be the front cover and on the left it's going to be the back. And so I don't need these anymore since I'm about to be putting in my own stuff, so I can go ahead and delete those. And so I'm gonna show you 2 ways to make your cover, because if you wanted a full bleed on your covers where it goes from the front page to the back page, you would need to make an 11 by 17 cover. So I'm gonna come in and make a 11 by 17 full bleed cover by dragging a frame from the top corner of this bleed to the bottom corner of this bleed. Remember that red line right here is the bleed. So like I said, you're gonna click frame and then click from the top corner, drag it to the other corner. And then if you had made your cover, you might have it nicely placed somewhere. You'll be able to drag and drop it into that frame you just made. And now you see here, I have it on this side and on this side. And then when I go into my actual pages to view how it would look, you click on your first page, hit W to preview the final print mode, the final crop. And now you'll see I have this for my front cover. I can scroll all the way down to the bottom, or I could click right here to page 12 and see that this is the back cover. And then when I go to the master page, I can see the full thing, how it would look if I opened it and put it face down. So then you would be able to add your name and semester wherever you would like. You can have it on the front, you can have it in the back, or you could have it inside somewhere. It just needs to be there somewhere nicely. So now that I've showed you how to make the full cover, I'll show you what you could do for a front page cover that doesn't have a back cover. So what we're gonna do for that is I'm gonna grab the frame again. I'm gonna start from this bottom corner or the top corner, doesn't matter. And I'm gonna click and drag that frame and make sure that it hits this middle line. That's the spine, and I'm gonna make it go all the way to the top so it touches that red line. So now I have a spot to drop in my cover that I made in Photoshop. And then I click it. I didn't show you this in the last time I made a frame, but you can always hit fill frame proportionally and it'll fill it and keep its dimensions so it doesn't squish or anything. And that's up top here. I'm gonna use this a lot. And now that I have this front cover, I could put my name here using the type tool if I want. Remember, you click and drag. For some reason, it's automatically making it right aligned, but you can align it to the left. And here's all your type tools up here. So you can do it however you want. I'm just gonna type in my name. Can't see it because of where it is, and my semester. Then I'm going to click on my selection tool so I can move it somewhere nice so you can read it. Cool, that works. And remember, this cover can be whatever you want. I actually would recommend that you put your name and semester in your design so you don't have to worry about doing it in InDesign. It'll already be here when you place it. So now I just need to make something on the back that relates to the front. I'm just gonna click a rectangle, click the rectangle tool, start in this corner, click and drag. It's okay if it goes over the red line, it doesn't really matter. And now I'm just gonna give it a nice fill with a color. So I could just make it black if I want. And that looks nice. I'm gonna hit W to see what it looks like. All right, cool. So it has, it relates to it somehow. It's like the same color scheme. If I want it to relate even better, I hit W to come back into this design view. I'm gonna click it, go to the eyedrop tool, take a color from my image. So now it's like, it relates a little bit more because the color scheme is the same. And you can see here, when I click inside the document, I have my front cover, come down to the back, and my back cover. And maybe this time, I want it on hitting W to exit. I want my information on the back. So I'm gonna click here, left align it, or center, however you wanna do it. I'm gonna type in my name and my semester. And I'm going to make the text white. And Yeah, let me just center it for this example, because you can do it however you want. That looks nice. Okay, so now that's centered. Now let's see how it looks in the document. I'm gonna click on my first page. Remember, I'm working for the cover, I'm working in the master page, so it automatically places it in the right place. So now I'm clicking on the pages within W. So that's my cover. Keep going all the way down to the bottom, my last page. There you go, there's my back page. So yeah, your back cover doesn't have to be crazy. It just has to be something that kind of makes sense with your front. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how to place images in your document. You may remember how to do this from our texture project, but I'll just go over it again for you for this. So we have our master page items that are locked. These are frames on the master page. So they're locked on the actual pages, but within the master page, I can manipulate them, but it will change it on all of them. So I'm gonna come back in here and place my process on this left side and have my final project on the right side. So I'm gonna go to my nice handy folder that I have somewhere. Here it is, with my finals and my process nicely labeled. I recommend once you select your projects that you want to show in the book, remember you have 4 projects to choose, and then you have your poster project at the end. You just gather up all the process for all those projects and all your finals, so you'll be able to quickly just come in and grab and drop it. Because now I have this window over here with my InDesign, and I have all of my files that I'm ready to drop. I have my sketches down here, and I'm ready to drag them over and drop them in. So now what I did was I dragged it, and now I'm within InDesign once I let go. And now you see I have the number 3 here, which means I have 3 files selected to drop, and I can just click in the frames that I want. And now what I can do is I can click one, and I come up here to fill frame proportionately. Now this is what you're going to use mostly. I always start with this one because it shows me how either wide or tall it can possibly be without distorting the image. So then now I can click within the frame. See, when I click in this middle part, I get this bounding box for the actual image. Whereas if I clicked like off in the corner or something, I would get the bounding box for the frame. See, now I move the frame, but now I'm clicking inside and I move the image. And to click off, I just click somewhere else, and then I'm able to switch in between the two. See? Okay, so I have my process in, and I have this extra frame, but I don't want this extra frame here. And it might look like it's nothing now, but a good tip to use is once you find you want to preview anything, you just tap W, and you'll be able to see it, how it's going to be printed. So I have a border on this, and I don't want this frame to be here because I only had 3 things of process I wanted to show. So I'm gonna hit W again. Now this is locked currently because it's on the master page, so I can't click it, right? So what I want to do is I want to delete this, so I hit Command Shift and then I click it. And then now I'm able to edit it as if I had placed something in there, and I can get rid of it. I'm gonna hit W again just to see what it looks like. Looks good. So W again. And now I need to put in my final. So I'm gonna go back to my well-organized folder where I had my process and my finals. Click on the finals. This was for the clock project. So I'm going to find a nice picture of my clock. Maybe this one here looks good. I'm gonna click, drag it, and drop it in. And now that's way too huge. So I'm gonna click this frame, make sure I'm selected on it. Come up here, fill frame proportionally. Click it, nice. Now I'm gonna rotate it and center it. Remember, once I click within it, I can manipulate it. See, I get the bounding box, so I can rotate it, and I can make it bigger by clicking the corner and holding shift and making sure I keep it proportionate. And that is my first project for my process book. I have my sketches, and I have my final. So you're pretty much just gonna do this for all of your projects. And just, you know, like we talked about in the master page section, if you need a different proportion, maybe you wanted to show like taller, wanted to show more of your sketches. So you can manipulate that, but you know, you might want to make sure that everything's kind of lined up and nice. And yeah, so you can edit it however you want. Just make sure that it looks nice and evenly distributed. Okay, so now I'll show you how to export your design. More specifically, we're gonna package it. So what packaging does is it brings all of your assets that are in your document, and it puts them all in one folder, and then that'll be the folder that you upload to your Google Drive, so everything will be all together. In case something happens or you lose it, you'll have everything. And you'll be able to move your stuff from one computer to another, and it won't break the links, because all these images in this document are linked. So see here, I have my cover, I have my content. Let's just assume I did this correctly, so I did it a bunch of times, and I had my poster last. And now I have my back cover. This is what it looks like. Okay, cool. So now I'm ready to export. So File, Package. So you're gonna get this window that pops up and just gives you a bunch of information of what you're doing. You want it's just giving you information on like what it's going to include. But it's always good to make sure that all of your files are correctly linked before you package it. So you just really need to, the only thing you really need to worry about is this links and images tab, and you just need to see if any are missing. It has this exclamation point that's normally just for the color space, so don't really worry about that for this. So you just need to make sure that if this says 0 missing or 0 modified, then you're all good to go. So we're gonna just hit package. Then I'm going to pick a nice spot for it. For now, we're just gonna do it on my desktop. And you can name the folder. I'm just gonna leave it process book template folder. And then you get to choose what it comes with. So this would be the best way to end your project, because it'll make a print PDF for you. So you just come in here and select your PDF preset. We're gonna make it high quality print. And an IDML is in case you're using the newest version of InDesign, and you're trying to open it in an older version on a different computer or something like that, you'll want to use the IDML. It's just another file format for an InDesign document. And you want to make sure that it copies the linked graphics. If you downloaded a font or use something in Adobe Fonts, you want to copy the fonts over, and you want it to update your links before it packages. So after you have all those checked off, you're good to go. Hit package. It's gonna just talk to you about a bunch of copyright stuff that I don't really know about, so I'm just gonna hit OK. And then it's going to package it for you. So then you gotta find your folder. I think I put it on my my desktop. Let me see here, to my desktop, and there's my folder, my process book template folder. Yours will be named last name process book. So here's all that stuff I just exported. Here's all the fonts that were in the document. Here's all of the files that were in the document. And here's the document itself, a copy of it. Here's the IDML in case I need to open it in an old version of InDesign. And here is what I can turn in, my PDF with my front cover, each page, and the back cover.